And we're back! Hello, Radically Friends, and welcome back to part 2 of my Ask Me Anything. You submitted your nosy questions, and I am going to answer them. In the last episode, we finished with Writer.Girl's questions, and we're gonna give her a thumbs up for being awesome. And we're gonna start off with one of my patrons, Pat Eichson? I don't know how to pronounce your name, but you're one of my awesome patrons who has been supporting me for like ever. So let's begin the second part with you. Happy holidays, Max. Happy holidays, Pat. What is the one book you wish you had written? Part of me? Did my voice just break? Did I just turn 14 again? A book that I wish that I had written. I really like 100 Years of Solitude, and I don't think that I wish I had written it because it's very different from what I write, but it has so many close elements to what I write that I feel that I could have done. Like, if 100 Years of Solitude had never existed, I think I could have done my take on that, and been as effective. That sounds really big-headed, but I really like the concept of just character stories, you know? 100 years of this one family, and you see characters grow up and die, and their children grow up and die, and it's just 100 years of a very interesting story. And Ursula freaking lives forever, which is beautiful. Next question. What is the one original story written by someone else you would like to read? And I'm going to assume that you don't mean like read casually. I think that you mean like me reading on the channel. If not, I'm gonna treat it like that. I really want to read Alice in Wonderland. Because one, I can because it's royalty free. But other than that, I also want to read The Portrait of Dorian Gray because I love The Portrait of Dorian Gray. And I want to share that story with all of you, because if you haven't read it, go read it. It's ridiculous. It's decadent. Skip the chapter where Dorian travels the world and you will be set. Do you dream in English or Spanish? English. I haven't dreamt or thought in Spanish since like almost like 10 years ago. What is your favorite comfort food to cheer you up? Oh man, comfort food. Okay, this is like really, really silly, but I love mashed potatoes. Mashed potatoes are just so delicious, especially with tons of cheese in them, being really creamy. That's really why I love like Thanksgiving and Christmas, because my sister makes like super cheesy mashed potatoes and they're awesome. Like, that's it. Like, just give me a whole slab of them and I'll be fine. And a writing question. If the characters are not focused on romantic relationships in the story, how important it is to reveal their orientation as straight, gay, ace, whatever? This is actually a really good and important question. And I do feel that maybe I have the unpopular opinion. I don't know what's popular here anymore, but I sure ain't popular. I find myself a little bit conflicted in this, because I feel that if a character is not if a story is about a character basically overcoming, let's say, a character overcoming depression, and they happen to be heterosexual, you would never in that story say they're heterosexual, because that's normal. Now, the one thing that bothers me with that is that it seems that it's necessary to pronounce a character for who they are, even though it has no application in the story. I'm not necessarily keen on that, though I think there are ways to maybe bring it up in the story. This is like a really muddy section where, and I have to be honest that maybe I could even make a discussion video on this, because even my opinion is really muddy. Like, part of me is like, there's nothing wrong with this character being gay, so you don't have to come and bring it out into the foreground. This character is gay. Because that to me feels as though this character has to come out clean, you know? It's like, you're hiding this, you better come out clean now, because, you know, before anyone gets the wrong idea that you are not normal. I don't like stuff like that. That bugs me really badly. And I'm not sure. My opinion is really muddy on this, as you can tell. I may actually make a discussion video on this and get somebody else's thoughts on this, because I don't feel like my opinion is solidified enough. Like, if you want to picture my opinion looks like my opinion has the shape of a bunch of mashed potatoes on a plate. I'm not sure what I believe here. I'm not sure how I feel. Part of me feels that characters don't like, because we don't have to act like being gay is weird. We don't have to act like being ace is weird. Because there's characters that I have who, like, for example, like characters from Raven's Gem, who, you know, I'm not sure if they're ace, I'm not sure, you know, if they're queer, but it's a sort of thing where I don't know if I can call the shots on that, because they're, one, those terms don't exist in their world, and two, they're discovering themselves, so who am I to call the shots on them, right? And also, we forget that sexuality is not like a pull-down menu. You know, things change, people come in and out of things. Ultimately, I think it's, you know, I don't know, it's really weird. Like, I don't feel comfortable with having to state a character's sexual orientation or romantic orientation in the middle of a story. It feels really weird for me. I'm not sure about it. I mean, like, I don't know. I don't think anybody read Justine's Blood and was unsure whether Annabelle and Justine liked each other. But you know, I don't know. This is a really muddy subject, and as I mentioned, I don't have a really solidified opinion on this. So I hope that this kind of actually this doesn't help at all. Who am I kidding? But I will probably make a discussion video on this because this is a really important subject, and thank you for bringing it up, Pat. This is a really good question. So thank you. And sorry if that wasn't very helpful. It's a really weird subject, and I don't know how I feel about it. Surisha Peters, do you watch Naruto? He. It's a strange question, but I know, but curious. If you could choose one of your favorite characters, if not, what is your favorite mainstream anime? I have read Volume 1 of Naruto back when I was in high school, and that's it. I've never seen any Naruto. Now that it's finished, I may go back and watch it just because it's silly. Favorite character? I've got none. I haven't seen much of it. I do say believe it sarcastically, though I've never seen it, because I know that that's Naruto's like annoying catchphrase. Believe it. Favorite mainstream anime. Does Ranma 1/2 count as mainstream? It's really old. I love Ranma 1/2. I watched Ranma 1/2 when I was in Mexico. I watched the entirety of it, and it's all available on Hulu. It's a really ridiculous and silly anime that I think walks a really interesting line with the idea of gender and gender identity. So there you go. Oh gosh, it's getting a little hot in here, and it's not me. Maddie Iverson, or Ivson, or Evson? Is that an L? Is that an I? I don't know. Maddie Iverson. How can you write believable characters that the readers will get attached to? I don't know about you. This is just my personal opinion. I relate to characters who want things and who have a justifiable reason for wanting something, and that basically boils down to characters being selfish. Because I don't know about you, but I have a hard time relating to a character who wants to be good because being good is the good thing to do. I think that everyone has an ulterior motive for the things that they do, and I know that may sound bad to some people, but you know, like, is this guy being a nice guy because being a nice guy is nice? Or does he want someone to see him being a nice guy? Or being a nice guy to use this niceness as leverage to get something later? People are selfish, and that's okay, because ultimately we relate to this selfishness. And I think there's a really nice quote, it's stay away from perfect characters. And I know that that's a really hard quote, because it gives me the following question, how do you make a character not perfect? And give them the traits that we look down upon, you know? I say that evil means absolutely nothing to me, and I will make an entire video on me ranting, but evil is the most meaningless term in writing ever. I don't relate to evil. Evil is pointless, and evil almost feels to me like it's an attack on my intelligence, like as though you think that I can't relate to this antagonist. Give me things that I can relate to. Give me bitterness. Give me cruelty. Give me sadness. Give me griefness. Grief, I guess. Give me something that I can relate to, a real thing, because, you know, good and evil don't mean anything. Give me compassionate, give me kindness, give me strength, and other things like that, you know? How can you write a believable character? Make them people. Treat them like people. People make mistakes. People do things that, you know, they wish they hadn't done. People have regrets. And above all, remember that your character has lived an entire life before the book began. So they have regrets. They're bitter about things. And there are things that they wish they could have done differently. I hope that helps. My face is dying. My face is dying. Next question. Am I gonna cut that out? Probably not. Next question. Ribbitibiton. What are your major aspirations for the next 5 years, both personal and professional? Within the next 5 years, it's kind of funny to say, I want to be in a relationship. No, that's dumb. Because I have no control over that. I will either find somebody or I will not. Really, if I'm still living with Kitty, it's probably awesome. I want to live with Kitty because we're both really silly and really cute, and I think it would lead to a really interesting way of working, and I like that. So yeah, within 5 years, I hope that I am in my own place with Kitty, and we're having fun. As for professional, I want to have a whole mess of books published. I slowed down because of personal business at the end of this year, 2014, and I want to have a bunch of good books coming out. I want to write the sequel to Raven's Gem, I want to write the sequel to Justine's Blood, and A Secret Named Sophie, and I want them all to come out in 2015. And after that, more books. Within 5 years, I want one of those series to already be over. Actually, by then Justine's World will be over, and probably Raven's Gem. Sophie's the one that is probably gonna go long. But other than that, though, yeah, I want those series to be over, and I want to have a bunch of books published. I want my YouTube channel to be one of the main pillars of my company, I guess, of my livelihood. And other than that, yeah, more blogging, more story seeds, more books, more videos, more of everything, and also more interactions, because I love working with all of you. So yeah, thank you. Thumbs up. Charlie Gunkeb. What do you think about fanfiction writing? Do you think it's worth it to write, since you have to do minimal character and world building? Actually, I've already answered the first question. Fanfiction is alright. Write it. I've written it. It's fun. Do it. As for the second question, to be entirely honest, my favorite thing about writing fanfiction is twisting the world and twisting the characters and doing things from a different point of view. Really, I think that fanfiction can be a great place for inspecting and twisting the elements of already a preset story, you know? And you know, you still have to do world building and character building elements within a fanfiction. It's entirely fine. Personally, my rule is this: do what seems fun to you, and that's it. Simple as that. Because if you have fun doing what you do, people will have fun experiencing what you have written. Next question. I already gave you a thumbs up. That's Ritalex22. Happy holidays. Happy holidays to you as well. When did you start getting into writing? I began writing fiction seriously at the age of 20. Has your liking for video games affected your writing? Actually, it has. I'm full of freaking, excuse the use of language, I am full of shit. It has. The way I format my stories are, okay, this is like behind the scenes information. People think that the way my stories are formatted comes from theater, which is okay, which is actually really understandable. The way my stories are formatted, by the way, my novellas are formatted in acts. First act, an intermission, a second act, an intermission, the third act, an intermission, and then an epilogue. That's the way my stories are formatted. I like writing them like that, it works for me, and that's the way I do things. And although when I lived in Mexico, I watched more plays than anything else, the origin of that actually comes from video games. When I wrote Wonderful Emotions, I wrote the story set as though it was stages in a video game. The first chapter is chapter 1 and scene 1 is 1-1, as though World 1 is stage 1. And then chapter 2 is World 1, World 1, 2, World 1, 3, and then the intermissions were called bonus stages. And that's how much of a nerd I am. Of course, later on, I had to find a more suitable theme, so I stuck to a regular chapter numbering, and I had intermissions instead. No, interlude, that's the word I was looking for. Interludes instead of bonus stages. So yeah, video games have actually affected the way I do my writing. They have actually changed the way I format my stories. So there you go, there's a little fun for you right there. What kind of other skills would you like to have? I would love to be able to make music. Though I don't even understand. Like I have played with GarageBand. I have looked up tutorials. Maybe there's a part of my brain that is missing. Well, it's not missing, but it's not attuned to that. I didn't put any skill points in music making, but I want to learn how to make music because music is such an integral part of my writing, and I want to learn how to make it. So that's one, and also doodling because I want to doodle my own characters. It's easier to have fan art of your own stories when you doodle it yourself. Would you like to have the experience of writing a story with someone? Maybe? It's this sort of thing where it would have to be someone who I really know. Like, it would have to be like me and Kitty working together, probably. Other than that, I'm not entirely sure, because I know that, you know, like, Neil Gaiman worked with Terry Pratchett on Good Omens, and that book apparently is like the greatest thing ever, so I have to read that, and I also have to, I would have to see how it would work, because I'm not sure about writing at the same time together. It feels like chapters are, like, split chapters are the best way to go, like, a chapter from my character's point of view, and a chapter from their chapter's point of view. A chapter from their chapter's point of view. Yes, character's point of view. I'm willing to try out anything, so that seems like fun. How was your Christmas? It was pretty good. We had tons of presents for the first time ever. Most of which came from Kitty. She gave me a pile of presents. She's such a freaking angel, you have no idea. Do you think talk to yourself in Spanish or English? I talk to myself all the time in English. It's part of the way that I sort out my work scheme. And also, it's the best way to test the mic before I start recording. So, you know, I have to talk to myself a little bit. And people think, you know, does that mean you're crazy? I don't know. I think everyone talks to themselves, man. You know? Like, if you look at yourself in the mirror and you notice that you're looking really good, what do you say? Wow, that person looks really good. Who are you talking to? Or, wow, I look really good. Who are you talking to? I think there's an element of projecting yourself somewhere and just basically talking to that projection. Which other languages would you like to be able to speak? I can read some little bit of Japanese. I would love to speak Japanese because I'm a weeboo. What sort of characters can't you write about? I take pride in being able to write about anyone. It's a sort of thing, and I don't know if it comes off as big-headed, but I pride myself in being able to put myself in anyone's shoes, and that's why it angers me a lot when people go around throwing evil and good around, because those words are so entirely meaningless. Because, you know, it's like, and even like now I'm reading the Harry Potter books, and like I can mildly understand Voldemort's like stance, but so far you gain no insight into his mind. So it's like, you know, why wouldn't I? Like, I feel that most people, if you put yourself in someone's shoes and you see the way they went about doing things, you have to be able to admit, you know what, I may not agree with your choices, but I see how you ended up here. So, I take pride in being able to write about anybody. I don't look down on anyone, and I said before, sometimes you're gonna end up writing homophobic, racist, rotten people, and that's your job, and you have to get into those dark places, and that's alright, you know? And I have written about characters who are not even human, and you just get in that mindset, you know? Writing is ultimately about empathy and about turning yourself off. That's actually why I've had a really interesting time playing video games that allow you to make characters, because I have never in my life made myself. I never play as myself. I always create a character through which I can experience the world, because it's really weird for me to transpose myself into a video game. It's really weird. I don't know. So no, yeah, I want to write about anyone. So, you know, if that means writing a sex offender, a murderer, a terrorist, or any sort of other looked down upon sort of character archetypes, I will do it, because that is my job as a storyteller. Thank you. Thumbs up. Nom 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 noms. That's name NA. Happy holidays. Thank you. I hope you ate lots of yummy food. I did! This shirt hardly fits anymore. That's all right, but I ate lots of food. There was no pecan pie this year, which is kind of a downer. Do you have any tips for writing in English when it's not your native language? Read a lot of books in English. Watch TV shows in English. Listen to audiobooks in English. Do anything you can to basically consume as much content in the English language as possible, because that's the only way you're gonna learn. And also, share your writing. This may be really daunting and scary, but there are mistakes that you are not gonna find out you're making until somebody points it out. English is a minefield of mistakes. It took me 10 years of living in this country to realize that I was pronouncing the word chef wrong. I was pronouncing it chef, because you would assume that the CH would have a CH sound, but English is derp. So, yeah. Chef. Other than that, also, there's a bunch of little mistakes. There's a lot of little things that even I am still iffy about. Like, I always keep having to find myself checking laying versus laying, as in, like, LY versus LAY. It's just, though I do know the difference between affect and effect, so I feel pretty proud about that. Staying up extra late or working extra early? Man, I always stay up late. I'm trash. I like my sleep, but I say that as though I save my sleep. I like waking up at the same time every day. Waking up earlier throws my entire internal clock out of whack, so staying up extra late, yep, I don't like it. I was doing it last night. I think, no, this video will go up on the 31st, I think. I want to give you a little sneak peek. I have remade the prompts. The prompts are still the same, but I have remade the little images for them, and I think you'll like them. I was staying up last night until midnight, making the prompts and making the new styles, so I think you'll like them. How do you drink your coffee? Tea? Black! And the tea, no sugar. I haven't tried putting milk in it, but I heard that it's not that good, but maybe I'll try it. Yeah, my coffee's black. My tea is without any sugars added to it. I may put honey in it. Once I'm done with this video and I start recording something else, I will probably make some tea with honey in it so my voice doesn't die. My guilty pleasure? I don't know. I don't make myself feel guilty for the things that I like. So it's kind of like, you know, I love weeboo crap. I love anime. I love Japan. I love listening to Japanese music. And I don't even know if that counts as like a guilty pleasure, because I totally embrace it. So, I don't know. And, I guess within that package of guilty pleasures, really, really cutesy and happy-go-lucky anime is like, I love it. I love things like Love Life and just really happy-go-lucky anime that just makes me go cute. By the way, fun fact: my artist, not recently, but like he discovered Igu, and he says that like sarcastically, and it's become like a non-sarcastic thing. Igu. So there you go. We're a bunch of nerds. Take me seriously. I am a published author. Igu. Trash. So much trash. M. Kirin confirmed. Top trash tier NA. Oh, hey, it's Hippo Music 444. Hey, Kendra? Is that your name? You tweet at me all the time, and we have like communicated through emails, so I know you. Happy holidays, Max. Happy holidays, Kendra. What was your college major or majors? I wanted to go in for graphic design, realized it wasn't my thing, and then I realized that I was at a crossroads. I could either go get a writing degree, spend tons of money, and still have to go through all the trouble of writing to publish my books. And even then I realized that everyone that I knew had horror stories about publishing traditionally, one of which was my dearest college creative writing college professor, who had to wait like 9 years for a publishing house to try to publish her book and then just basically ended up dropping it, and stuff like that happens all the time. And I thought, you know what, I can go through all of that work, or I could go through another different pile of work and go indie, and I decided to go indie. I actually, technically speaking, I am a college dropout, next to an entire myriad of other college dropouts like Neil Gaiman and Quentin Tarantino and other people like that. So yes, I actually do not have a college major. What's your opinion on books made into movies or television series? It's cool, it's interesting. I think it opens opportunity to see a different interpretation of work. My hair, oh my, what is going on with the back of my head? No, I think it opens the opportunity to another interpretation, because I think it's a little bit unrealistic to expect expect the show and the movie to be exactly like the book. That's not gonna happen. So I like to come into things looking for a different interpretation. That's why, oh yeah, I'm really sad that the Constantine show, the new Constantine show, or Constantine, depending on who you believe, is not getting a second season, because I really wanted to watch some of it when I had time, because I liked the movie Constantine, I had read some of the comic books, and I wanted to see a different take on it, but not gonna happen. No, yeah, I think it's a great chance to not come in expecting them to be the same, come in expecting it to be a different interpretation of them. And 3 of your favorite albums. Oh man, okay. I'm gonna force myself and not make, okay. Well, actually, I already talked about like musicians, because if I gave you like my non-writing albums, I will give you like Carpe Diem by Lotus Juice, which is a Japanese rapping album, which is really silly. I will give you Halcyon by Ellie Goulding, and was it Lights by Ellie Goulding? Was it also Lights? Her first album. Though make sure to get Human, because Human is an amazing song and Ellie Goulding is flawless. As for 3 writing albums, I recommend like must-haves in your library. Well, not exactly must-haves, but albums that I just love all the time. The Chrono Trigger soundtrack, as remastered by Pedro Castillo. He has a SoundCloud. Look up Chrono Trigger remastered Pedro Castillo. Download it. It's amazing. It's free. And aside from that, this is a little bit of a weird one, because I think only I would like it, but there is I believe it's called Mega Man X Maverick. It's a remix album from ocremix.org, and it's basically like 4 discs of Mega Man remixes. And I love Mega Man, the Mega Man games. And this is like a really actiony, like this is a really great playlist for like working out, and I love it. So there you go. And as for my 3rd writing related album, I have to say, oh yeah, Ben Prunty, one of my favorite composers who lives in my area, released an album called Color Sky, which is really, really comfortable listening music. And I think that he wrote it with the, because he wrote that album after he wrote the album for FTL, and he got tons of feedback from people telling him that they loved the soundtrack for FTL, which is a video game, FTL Faster Than Light, and people were telling him, and I told him myself, that I love the album because I listened to it while writing or while working, and it was just like a really chill album. So he made an entire album with nothing but that feeling, and that's Color Sky. So yeah, go to benprunty.bandcamp, I think, and pick up Color Sky. It's amazing. It's absolutely worth it. I love it. So yeah, there you go. Thank you, Kendra. Thumbs up. I said thumbs up. There you go. Jeremy Cantrell. What's your favorite book? On Writing by Stephen King. Have you ever considered submitting to a publisher? I have heard nothing but nightmares about people who are indie and try to go traditional. I would have to read the they would have to come to me. I'm not submitting my work. They have to come to me on my terms. They have to cross the bridge first towards my side of the moat. That's a really like elegant way of saying that. And I would have to read the contract very well because I've heard nothing but horror stories. And I know that there are certain people who would be in certain publishing houses, primarily the smaller ones, who would be entirely okay with sliding in really malicious things in the contract. For instance, they could put in the contract that all of my indie published books now belong to them, and you're saying, Max, that can't happen. It happens. So if a publisher wants to publish my work, they have to come to my side with like a really clean contract. Because my God, would I ever submit? No. It's so much work. And, you know, why when I can just, you know, I'm successful right now being indie. Do you have a favorite band? I do not. I listen to everything. I listen to all genres. Ellie Goulding has a little warm spot in my heart because I just really love her music. I love Ellie Goulding. So there you go. Thank you, Jeremy. Jim Trailer. Do you have all your teeth? And if they ever fell out, would you make a necklace out of them? I would not, because I don't mess with voodoo. Though I know someone who would. A friend of Kitty would actually do that. Thank you, face. What's your favorite smell? I love citrusy smells. Like lime and orange. It's just stuff like that. It's beautiful. I love it. I have tons of candles with citrusy smell. How many books have you written and what are their titles? I enjoy reading your blog and believe you provide wonderful and inspirational service for young writers. Thank you, Jim. I have written tons of books, but right now I have 4 books published. I have Raven's Gem, a fantasy novella, Justine's Blood, a paranormal novella, and A Secret Named Sophie, a young adult, a steampunky sort of coming-of-age story. And I have a non-fiction book called 400 Story Seeds to Crush Writer's Block, a compilation of 400 never-before-seen story seeds. I'm talking like I'm doing a pitch. Yeah, I have 4 books published right now. I have a bunch of other books that are not released yet. One, like the latest one being Shoujo's Bizarre Adventure, which I finished doing NaNoWriMo. I have Capsule 7, Fool, and like 2 more other books that I have not published yet. Oh, and Wonderful Emotions from back like 4 years ago. Yeah, no, it's all a matter of cleaning them up and publishing them. But yeah, thank you for the kind words. As of now, I have 4 books published. And, well, I also did Writers Unite, which was a compilation of writing advice from writers around Tumblr, though that was more of a compilation, so it's not really my work. But yeah, thank you, Jim. Eros. Happy holidays, Max. Thank you. Thanks for all the amazing content and service you put out throughout the year, especially the NaNoWriMo care package. Oh, thank you. That was really fun, and I'm totally gonna do it for Camp NaNoWriMo. That must have taken a lot of work, but I'm sure it helped off a lot of people, myself included. Thank you. If you don't mind, how did you come up with some of your stories, or characters at least, like Justine, Raven's Gem, etc.? How did I come up with my stories? If you have seen my guide for how to plan your novel, that's it. I come in, I sit down, and I ask myself, what is fun right now? And I remember when I first came up with Raven's Gem and I was first coming up with that system, I sit down and I ask myself, what is exciting? I wanted to make a fantasy novel that revolved around a gem-based magic system. And I wanted it to revolve around a duel to the death and have gray morality. And that became Raven's Gem. And that was kind of like the seed, because if I had like, and I will someday scan all of my original papers and show them to you and everyone. Maybe when I release Serpent's Gem, just so you see how much the story changed, because you can't come into the story and expect it to be what you want it to be, because my God, the character concepts bloomed and grew as I was writing them. The original character for Joanna was so much different. She was literally just a spoiled brat. I thought she was gonna be a spoiled brat, and then when I actually sit down to write her, I realized, holy crap, you're really sad, and you have dealt with all of this strife, and all you want is just to be with your only childhood friend. And I'm like, don't make me cry. You were supposed to be a spoiled brat. But no, yeah. You want to know how I come up with stories? Check out my planning guide. That's really it. I sit down and I ask myself, what is fun? And then I write a story about that. Simple as that. And in case you're asking about Justine, I wanted to tell a story set in a mental hospital revolving around two girls wanting to not be alone anymore. And that became Justine. Weird, huh? What's your favorite candy? I am a sucker for Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Yeah. Oh man, I love Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. What's your favorite mythical creature? I like the Kirin, which is the Japanese unicorn. Chinese unicorn. I'm sorry, don't yell at me. As you can tell, it's actually my pen name. I chose Kirin as a pen name. Why? Because I come from Mexico and I have two really long last names, and I realized, you know what? Only Gabriel Garcia Marquez can sell two last names. So I thought, you know what? I'm gonna give myself a genderless pen name, and that became M. Kirin. Kirin being the Chinese unicorn. If you had to be one, whether realistically or one you would prefer to be, what would you choose? Oh, mythological creatures. I don't think I would be the Kirin. I think that I am a hypocrite, and I would probably be a dragon that can shapeshift into a human, because I like the idea of being like, okay, here's a pitch for an anime, okay? It's a high school anime. Everything is normal. You have all of your regular archetypes, except that one character is basically a 10,000-year-old dragon attending high school for like the 50th time, and they know everything, but they still get things wrong just to appear to be a regular student. That's it. That's basically what I would do. I would just be a super ancient dragon, attending like regular school and just being all like, I'm like, 2 + 2, that's 5, teach. What? No way, I got that wrong. The capital of Mexico, that's Paraguay, right? It's like, no, Maxi. And I'm like, you're wrong, teach. There you go. And finally, would you rather face a zombie apocalypse or a robot apocalypse? Last question is the most important one, actually. That's a really good question. I think that if the apocalypse happened right now, I would rather be in a zombie apocalypse, because I don't think we have the hardware necessary for battling robots right now. Like, if it was something like the Terminator universe, maybe, but even then, they're clearly not fighting the robots. No, don't get me wrong, I love mechas, I love giant robots. I'm a nerd, as you can tell, so like the idea of a robot apocalypse is kind of cool to me, but I still feel that I would feel more comfortable in a zombie apocalypse, to be entirely honest. That, and because really, like, the culture right now is so immersed in zombie culture that I think we would do pretty okay. Though, of course, if I was writing a story, I would have it be in a robot apocalypse, because easy choices? Hell no! Go all the way. Go big or go home. Thank you, Red House. Ashley Whitelaw. That is the most badass name ever. It's almost like a Western name. This town's got only one sheriff, and her name is Ashley Whitelaw. She's got 2 revolvers named Justice and Mercy, and she only uses one of them. Wow, that's actually really cool. That would actually be a pretty good spin for a story. And my throat is dying. Oh, this is the hair question. Let me mess up my hair a little bit. Hi Max, I was wondering, do you have anyone do your hair? Cut it, go to the salon, because it always looks amazing, even though you mess with it a lot, it always looks awesome. This is gonna be like a really, like, either you love me for this or hate me for this, but I actually cut my own hair. There was a point in my life when I didn't have the money to go to a salon and spend $15 on a haircut. And I thought, you know what, my artist has like hair cutting scissors, because he actually owns like a machine, because he does like the side shape. And I thought, you know what, I'll go into it, I'll watch a couple YouTube videos. It can't be that hard, and it was pretty hard, but I got used to it. I actually do my own hair. As for what I actually put on my hair, go into the hair product aisle and look for the things that, look for hair putty. It kind of looks like grayish paste, but look for the stuff that says messy look. That's basically what I put on. Put it on your hair when it's a little bit dry. I mean, a little bit wet. You don't want to put it on when it's fully wet, because it's gonna work like hair gel. It's gonna be gone within a couple of hours. You want it to put it on when your hair is just a little bit wet, and you can reapply later. The Axe stuff is okay, but you need to reapply it later in the day. I think there's another stuff called like Texted 2. That's the one I use. It lasts all day, and I just keep messing it up. Gives my hair volume, and yeah. But no, yeah, I cut my own hair because I'm not poor anymore, but I just got used to it. And my hair actually looks the way I want it to look. I was wondering if you've ever done a role-playing story that you wrote down and have wanted to turn into a book. I've got at least 30 role-playing stories I've written with different friends, and I want to turn some of them into books. How would you go about doing this? Okay, first off, I don't role-play my... I hope you mean like role-playing games, unless you mean like a role-playing like forum and stuff like that. I haven't done those, but I have done like role-playing games, and of course, I'm the game master, so I'm always stuck in the game mastering position. That sounds like something else. But yeah, I wrote a game called Welcome to Old San Francisco, which was set in like a futuristic noir sort of setting, and I would probably, when I have time, I may turn it into a book series. I think it was a really interesting setting, and I would probably, if not write that story, I would write something else. As for your second question, how would you go about doing this? First, make sure, just to be clear, that everyone who was involved is okay with this. I don't know if it can be a copyright problem, but you want to be clear. So kind of be clear with everyone that it's okay for you to do this. And other than that, just treat it like you would treat any other story. The one problem that I want to make very clear right now, and I've said this before, is that come into a story being entirely aware that it's gonna change. That's why if I wrote a story if I wrote about old San Francisco, although ironically it's set in the future, so that's the funny thing. But if I wrote about Welcome to Old San Francisco, I would write a new story in the same setting, not with the old characters, because there's gonna come a point in which the characters are gonna change, because the story is gonna evolve before your eyes. So I think that it would be more effective for you to have a story set in the same world, so you don't have to worry about, oh no, this character is supposed to do this at the end of the third session, but now they haven't done that, everything's gone to hell. Save yourself all of that worrying and just basically write a story set in that world. I think that will be a more true experience, to be entirely honest, since you are coming into it treating it like a story. Because, roleplays can be really chaotic. So, I hope that helps. Ashley Whitelaw. Lily Smith. Hi, Max, and happy holidays. Thank you. I have just 2 questions, and I hope you don't mind them. Nope. First, when do you think the sequel to Justine's Blood will be out? If you're making one, I am making it. I am shooting for it to be out on 2015. Probably, I don't know. I don't want to make promises because I can't keep them, because work keeps being ridiculous. But I promise that it will come out on 2015. And I'm not going to give you the name because I'm trash. Second, will you have a fan meetup anytime in the future? I believe you live in Northern California, and I do too. Honestly, I would like to meet you. Well, don't actually die when we meet, though, because that would be kind of messy. Thank you so much. You're such an inspiration. Thank you. That's really sweet. As for fan meetups, I live in Santa Cruz County, and that automatically means that like a bunch of my followers are being all like, oh my god, I live there too. Yeah, apparently a bunch of you like live in Santa Cruz County, which is kind of funny. I am going to be attending FanimeCon in San Jose next year. So I mean, that's Labor Day weekend, I believe. So I mean, if you want a good time and place, that's gonna be it. I'm gonna make a whole video about it when the time rolls around, but just know this, that I'm gonna be at FanimeCon in San Jose next year, and just to make this very clear, you don't actually need to have a badge or anything to meet me. Like, we'll probably just meet in the park outside of the convention center or something like that. So, that seems like a pretty good way to go about doing things. I would totally want to meet fans. Last year, I think like there were issues and I couldn't meet up with the people I wanted to meet up with. So maybe this year we'll do it better, or this upcoming year. So yeah, I totally want to do fan meetups. I'm not too sure about having them in Santa Cruz, primarily because I'm really busy. But yeah, FanimeCon is happening. If you're going, let's meet up. If you're not going, make a slot in your schedule and come see us. You don't need to be registered for Fanime. We'll probably meet in the park or something. All right. Thank you, Lily Smith. That's actually like a really good question. Nora Holstein. Happy holidays. Would you say it's harder to write for? Do you think it's harder to be a writer whose language isn't English? I am from Denmark and I write in Danish, but does that make it harder to get readers? It would make it easier for you to get readers in Denmark. Okay, when I first read this question, because I think I read it like a couple days ago, precisely a day ago, I thought that you meant writing as in the act of writing itself. To be entirely honest, I'm originally from Mexico, though I've spent half of my life in the US now, so I'm just gonna say that I'm an American writer now because it's just an easier mental work. Though I do feel that it is easier getting an English speaking and reading audience when you are writing and creating content in English. But I mean, keep also in mind that, you know, if you're writing in Danish, you're opening yourself to the entire audience that reads in Denmark. So that's, or people who speak Danish. So that's, you know, that's also a perk. Though I do have to probably admit that, yeah, you would have a wider audience if you wrote in English. Though, I mean, you know, you have to do what you have to do. You know, I have people asking me if they should write in English even though they don't live in an English-speaking country and their native language is Spanish. And ultimately, my thing is this: write in the language you want to publish in. If you want to publish in Denmark, then publish in Denmark. I mean, you know, there are published authors in every country. So, you know, ultimately, pick a language and just, you know, work hard. If you want to write in English, then write in English. It's entirely okay. Ultimately, as I've mentioned, it's all about dedication. So I hope that helps. I really do hope that helps. I don't, you know, the publishing world is kind of silly, and that's why I went indie. So, you know, I mean, I don't want to use the word easy or harder, because it's just kind of like, you know, I mean, most of the world, I mean, the second most, is it the second or the third most spoken language? Because I think the most spoken language is Mandarin, and the second most spoken language is Spanish, and the third most spoken language is English. So I don't know what to tell you. Ultimately, though, just keep dedicating yourself to what you want to do, okay? I promise that it will work out. Thumbs up. Racial prize. Who is the one celebrity you would like to work on a novel with? Oh, man. That's tough. Not Stephen King. Not because I have anything against him, but it's because I don't know if our work would work well together. Wait a second. Isabel Lone has a question. How many times are your books bought? I'm assuming you mean how many times have my books sold, or how many times they have been bought. I don't have the number off the top of my head, but I can tell you without an absolute freaking doubt that my best-selling book right now is 400 Seats to Crush Writer's Block. That book has sold like pancakes. It's ridiculous. It sold so many copies, especially physical ones, that it's kind of outrageous. Out of my fiction books, though, Justine's Blood is my bestseller. It sold as many copies as Sophie and Raven's Gem combined. But no, yeah, I don't have the numbers on hand, and it's not because I want to hide them, it's because I don't have them with me. But I know, yeah, bestseller of all time, 400 Seats to Crush Writer's Block. Ridiculously by far. But within fiction, Justine's Blood, it sold more copies than Raven's Gem and A Secret Named Sophie combined. Okay, now Rachel Prize. Part of me would like to work with Neil Gaiman, but I would have to actually meet him as a person and see his work, or read more of his work, because I haven't read all of it, but I've read most of it. So, you know, we would have to see. But Neil Gaiman is kind of like the dream work. Thank you. Maria N. Hola, Max. Hola. I bought your book for myself for Christmas. Cute. Aww. But I'm very excited to own your little novella. Thank you. Do you ever feel overworked with how much you do in your life, or do you enjoy it and don't mind? I like what I do. It tends to be a lot of work sometimes, but that's, you know, I used to work a lot as well in a company where I was not happy. So being able to do what I do, sorry about that. Being able to do what I like, even if it means, you know, staying up until midnight like last night, it's better than, you know, spending 12 hours working in an office that I'm not happy in. I like it. I have a big sign in my wall that says enjoy it, from the Neil Gaiman speech, and I try to enjoy things. And getting messages means a lot to me, and getting comments means a lot to me. It really does help. So yeah, no, I like it. It's tough, but it's the work that I want to do. So yeah. What's the most important lesson you have learned in your life? Oh, okay. You must be from the UK, because this is like a thing that they only do in the UK. They only say learned in the UK. So you must be from the UK. I should be reading this in a fake British accent. What is the most important lesson you have learned in your life? Should I also be answering them in a fake? How many people can I turn off in this one video? The most important lesson that I've learned in my life, it's got to be, I think it relates very closely to the, it relates very closely to the question that I just answered. I do believe that enjoying the act of writing is very meaningful. And I do think that in the act of writing, in the act of working, and being self-employed as I am, and an independent author, I do believe that it is rather easy to become a workaholic. So it is rather important to take a moment to stop and enjoy what you have and enjoy what you do. And it's really hard for me even now to take breaks, but I do try to do to the best of my ability to actually take breaks and enjoy things and go out with the family and go out with my friends and take moments to realize how great it is that I am able to do the work that I like. That is the most fake accent ever. I should answer these in like my fake Texas accent. Do you believe in the saying, what you put out, you get back? Everything's big in Texas. I think so, up to an extent. I do you believe in the saying, what you put out, you get back? I think so, up to an extent. People put out karma, and karma doesn't work like people think karma works. That's the thing that always bugs me. And I don't know. There's a couple of people that I know who believe that like you also carry the sense of your ancestors, and that always kind of bothers me a little bit. Because, you know, I don't necessarily feel like that. You know, like, just because my parents were awful people doesn't mean that I'm gonna be punished for it, or I should be punished for that, you know? Other than that, though, I feel that you get well, that's also kind of mean, because I was gonna be like, you get the compassion, the world is as compassionate to you as you're compassionate to the world, but that makes it seem as though the world owes you anything. Ultimately, I think that you should just give, okay, I won't put it like this. Be the person you want to be. Simple as that. Because the world is never going to pay you back the way you want it to. So instead, be the person you want to be. You want to be a compassionate person, then be a compassionate person. And don't expect the world to pay you back, because ultimately, you're getting what you want, which is to become that person. I wanted to be an inspirational person, and I wanted to show kindness and compassion and an open mind, so I become that person. Simple as that. I am become death, destroyer of worlds. What do you think is the most beautiful, important characteristic a human being can have? Kindness and compassion. Being able to relate to other people's problems, and being able to dispose yourself out of your biases in it, and say, you know, because everybody lives a different life, and there's no need to turn things into a pity party. There's no need to be like, you know, my life is worse than yours. You know, I worked in a workshop when I was like 10 years old. There's no need for pity parties. Everyone suffers, and ultimately what we need to do is be able to look beyond that and find the things that we have in common, and find the middle ground where we're all happy. I hope that helps. Being compassionate, being kind. There's a ton of really awful people out there, and I don't hate anybody. I think it's hate that requires so much energy. Instead, I accept that they exist, I accept that this is the way they are, and they don't have to be part of my life. Simple as that. You consider yourself an optimist or a pessimist, or neither. I am an optimist. Despair has never achieved anything ever, and I will forever believe that things can get better, that things will be better, and if we work together, we will achieve our goals. Simple as that. Optimist forever. What is your favorite nickname? Max, Maxi. It's my real name. I'm blessed with having a short name, because in Mexico it's really easy to have long names. And my parents love short names. So, you know, my name is Max. You can call me Maxi. Either way, it's fine. Can you sing? I can try. I see what you've been said. You were lodging here last night. You were the honest bishop's guest, and then out of Christian goodness, when you heard about his plight, you pretend he made a present of the silver. That is right. But my friend, you left so early. Surely something slipped your mind. You forgot I gave this also. Would you leave the best behind? My voice is so broken. So, monsieur, you may release him, for this man has spoken true. I command you for your duty, and God's blessing go with you. But remember this, my brother, see in this some higher plan. God has raised you out of darkness. I have bought your soul for God. That's really bad. I could have done something else. I actually really like that song from Les Mis. That's the priest, the cleric, the bishop. It's a bishop from the bishop's song from Les Mis. I like that song. I try to sing, I can't, especially after speaking for 2 hours. What is an interest of yours that is completely unrelated to writing? I was gonna say game design, but that's also mildly related to storytelling, because I create storytelling games. All the things that is not related to writing. I don't know, my life kind of revolves around telling stories, so I'm not really sure, but the most dramatic one is game design. Do you have any fears? Drowning, you know, awful deaths, but then again, I kind of feel that if I'm about to drown, I'm just gonna accept it and be like, well, I am finally going to discover what drowning feels like, and it's just a lot of going. So yeah, there you go. Other than that, just kind of like painful deaths, but then again, I feel that I'm level-headed enough where I'm like, if I'm getting mauled by a bear, I'm just gonna be like, well, I'm gonna discover what it feels like to be mauled by a bear, and then I'll come back in my next life and make jokes about it on the internet. Uh, ¿Puedes decir algo en español para nosotros? There you go. Ahí te va. I was about to sing the Mexican anthem, but I already broke my voice. Do you believe you could be a bestseller someday? Yeah, absolutely. There's tons of indie people who are bestsellers. And if a publisher really likes my work, because I do feel that my work is not exactly fit for regular publishers, because I write short stuff. But if they ever come to me and they're like, "Hey Max, we want to publish all of your books, and you still retain the rights and everything's still fine," let me go for it. Other than that, though, there's plenty of people who are indies and are bestsellers and make more than a great living from their work. So yeah, I think so. It's all a matter of time. Would you believe that a year ago I only had like 1,000 followers on Tumblr, and now I have like 44,000 as of the recording of this video? So it's all just a matter of time. You have to let the trees grow so they can start bearing fruit. And lastly, would you say that practice makes perfect applies to writing as well? Of course. And of course, the thing is like perfect doesn't exist in writing. It's all just a matter of practice and to keep working and to keep trying hard. So yeah, keep writing, keep working, and everything will work out. Thanks. Thank you lots. Gracias a ti también, Maria. Love. Mwah. Bailey, thumbs up. Bailey the Thorn. I would love to know your opinion on fanfiction, and if you think it takes the same types of writing skills as writing a novel, or different ones, and how you could redefine fanfiction writing skills to write an original novel. I like fanfiction. I think it's great. I have written it myself. You want to know how much of a nerd I am? I wrote a retelling of Dark Souls, and it was going to be like an 8-volume series, and I'm still going to write it, called The Bearer of the Dark Sign. And as soon as I can, I'm going to release it. It's weird as heck, and it's going to be awesome. You're going to love it. I add a new magic system to the world of Dark Souls, and I think it's really effective. But no, yeah, I like fanfiction, and you can play the same skills. My one problem is that being afraid of breaking canon, which you have to let go of that. And, people are gonna like it, people are not gonna like it. It's a perfect example of writing, because I have written books, and people have given me, like, completely biased feedback, trying to sell it as constructive, and I'm like, you didn't like it because it wasn't your cup of tea, man. And I've gotten people who love a book for absolutely no objective reason whatsoever, and that's life. People are gonna love your work, people are gonna hate your work. What matters though is that you keep making art. So, if you want a good experience, write fanfiction that breaks the canon so badly that people have to go and look at it and say, wow, this is different and awesome and interesting. There you go. Yeah, just write. Write and have fun. Thank you, Bailey. Oh, Michaela Harmon. I love the name Michaela so much, it's really cute. What do you feel is the most stressful element of writing, and how do you deal with it? I feel that for me, over time, the first draft was scary, and then I finished one and I realized it wasn't that scary. Editing used to be scary, and then I edited like 6 books, and now it's not scary anymore. What is scary right now, even to this point, is reviews and people's opinions. And I take my own advice, and I try to not care about it. I try to not actually read reviews, primarily because for every like one review that is like really well phrased and really well said, there's like 10 reviews that are awful. Even positive reviews and negative reviews that are not really effective at portraying a person's opinion. So it's just kind of like, and it's really weird reading people talking about your book as though reviewing it. It's really weird. So I try not to read them. Maybe one day I will feel better about it, but this sort of thing where I don't want those opinions to stop me from loving what I do. So there you go. Yeah, feedback. Not feedback, but reviews. Like, I'm okay with feedback. If you send me an email telling me how you think I can improve the Raven's Gem series, and you say it in a really effective way without trying to make me feel like I wasted your time, I will listen to it. Other than that, though, sometimes I do read the reviews, and I try to take out the constructive criticism and just move forward. Reviews, people's opinions. Thank you, though. Thank you, Michaela. I love your name. Oh, it's Faith. Faith Mitchell. Okay, I love this question. Roughly speaking, how old are you? We don't have to talk about roughly. I'm 25 years old, going 26 next March. What is your day job? This is funny, because people assume that I have a day job. This is my day job. I create content for writers. I run a blog. I run a YouTube channel that is actually making me money. I am partnered with Google, which just means that I have ads on my videos. And I make money off of my books. I used to have a day job like a year and a half ago, and it was awful. No, I worked 3 years in this office, moving from position to position, working a lot, being overworked and underpaid, and I hated my work there, my life there. And there came to a point where I realized that I wasn't getting anywhere higher. I kept being overworked in the hope that maybe I could get a better position and maybe I could justify, because I'm talking about working 60-hour weeks. It's kind of ridiculous. 60-hour weeks, six days a week. It was to the extent that like I would get home, because I would only have one day off. And I remember one of my coworkers nailed what it felt working there. Because you leave on Saturday and it's like, you have one day off on Sunday, and this lady, she would turn to me and say, when you work like this, you don't have days off, and it doesn't feel like you go home, it feels like you're going back to the hotel room. And that absolutely nails that feeling. It nails what it feels like to work in a place like that. You get up at 5 in the morning, go to work, get home at 5 in the afternoon, shower, make dinner, try to get any sort of writing done, go to bed, repeat the entire process again. I hated it. I hated it with a passion. I would only be able to write in between breaks and between my lunches, and I got away from that. I saved money, and when I realized that I wasn't gonna get anywhere, I quit my day job and I focused on this, and it's worked out ever since. Was it hard? Yeah, I had to make a lot of sacrifices, but you know what? It was worth it at the end of it all. I'm happy now. I'm so much happy now. I'm so much happier now. I do what I love for a living. I'm answering. It's weird because I'm making videos and people experience my ridiculous face and my ridiculous persona, and people are sending me questions because they want to learn more about me. That's ridiculous. And it's amazing and blissful and beautiful, and I cannot help but thank you for that. This is my day job. I write books, I run a blog, I create inspirational content for writers, and it's been a success so far. And it's only gonna get even more successful as time goes on, because it's for things like this, for creating content, it's all just a matter of growing a tree. You dedicate time to it, you give it a little love, and it's gonna keep growing and growing and growing. Simple as that. My blog increased in size ridiculously this year, and so did my YouTube channel. And in time, it's only gonna get better. So yeah, this is my day job. And it's time for the final question, and the one question that I actually saw in advance. Well, one of the questions that I saw in advance. And the question is from Faith. One last question. Can we see your favorite deck of cards? And I actually brought it down. It's like in my shelf, behind a bunch of things, but I have it now. As some of you know, I love decks of playing cards. They're like the one thing that I used to collect back when I had a little bit more disposable income. And nowadays, I still buy them, but I try not to buy as many because I don't have the space for them. I was thinking about this, and I thought, I do love my Final Fantasy 25th Anniversary deck. It's nice. I like it. Though, that's not my favorite. I can actually go through a bunch more. I also love my Johnny Cupcakes deck that my artist got for me. Johnny Cupcakes being a graphic designer who makes t-shirts. I also like this one. It's really nice. And the one that I work with the most is, see if I can find it. Oh, here it is. The one that I actually use for working and creating stuff is my Blue Dragon bicycle deck. I love it because all of the suits are actually blue as opposed to red. Well, the diamonds and hearts suits are actually blue as opposed to red, and I love it. It's actually a beautiful deck. This is actually what I use for. This is what I used for making my card game. This is what I use for testing, and I love when a deck is worn out and you can see that it's been loved and played with. Some people say that some people prefer the in-box mint condition sort of things, and I'm not like that. I love it when things are worn out. I love the rustic feel of things, and I love it when you can see that something has been played with. And my favorite deck has certainly been played with. When I was a super weebly in high school, and still am, but I actually bought a Sakura card captor deck, and this deck is so worn out. We played so many card games in high school that this deck, the cards are super soft, so we actually played with them a lot. I love it. This is my favorite deck of playing cards. And it's really cute, and it's super worn out. It's worn out to all hell, and I could not have it any other way. I love this deck of cards. And it's just really cute, and it just brings back a lot of memories. And I swear the cards are so soft because they've been, we played with them, for years basically. And I love it. So yeah, there you go. That's my favorite deck of playing cards. And this is the last question. My God. This was a great experience, and I want to thank you so much for sitting down with me, spending quite a while of your day with me, listening to me answering questions and sharing my opinion on things. Thank you so much for doing this. Thank you so much for submitting your questions. Thank you for making this a great year for me. Creating content, I think Neil Gaiman said it, that doing things like this is kind of like throwing bottles into the sea, and sometimes they come back, sometimes they don't. And I found that in this last year I got a lot of bottles back, and I've gotten tons of sweet emails, tons of sweet messages, tons of tweets, and Tumblr fan mail that is just amazing. The idea of people making fan art of my characters still escapes me. I don't understand how people go out of their way to do that. It's so sweet. And you know, I know I've been touched so much this year, and it's just amazing. And I wanted to thank you for that. Thank you for each and every single one of you who watches my blog, my YouTube channel, my blog, and reads my books, and thank you for making this possible. It's been a really long journey for me, and a really long journey of self-discovery and coming to terms with who I really am and what I really want in life, and thank you for making that possible for me. By the way, everybody kept asking what age I am, and I guess it's because I'm rather youthful looking. That's mostly my skin type though. I am 25. And I know that next year is going to be even better. So, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of your day with me. And I wish you the best for next year. And I know that it's going to be amazing. Thank you. Mwah!